Alrighty, here we go. G'day, Stu from UAVFutures. Welcome to Happy Flying. This is our weekly stream. It is great to be back. We're going to be talking all things FPV, and I know I haven't been here the last 2 weeks. I want to apologize. This is stream, I believe this is like number 39. I'll have to double check when we started this. Maybe somebody can let me know when my first stream was, but we are coming up on like a year of streaming. So pretty exciting stuff, probably like 10 weeks to go or something like that. People already know what's going on in the chat. They're saying loud and clear. Everybody can hear me, so that's good. The microphone is working. We've got some issues sorted. But today we're going to be talking all things FPV. Just to give you a bit of a rundown on what is coming up. We're going to be talking about the Edge T3 HD video system. We've got some flights that I want to show you guys. We're going to be talking a little bit about Caddx, which has been a little bit spicy. And I've had quite a few comments actually on a couple of my videos. So we're going to be talking about that. A little bit about some of the Cadex ecosystem as well, and like some new drones. We do need to talk about Tariffs because they're absolutely crushing FPV and not in a good way. So yeah, so you States viewers over there, we're going to be talking about that a little bit. And I've got some ideas as well, which is aimed to help some people. We're going to be talking some other things on DIY FPV, some cool little features, and then some just like some really exciting stuff. I want to talk about HDZero because I did a review, or not a review. Well, I did do a review recently, but also like a goggle shootout. So I want to talk about some HDZero stuff. I'm getting a lot of HDZero people commenting in the chats as well. So let's try and address some of that. We need to talk a little bit about freestyle, and we're talking about like the evolution of frames and where it's up to now versus 5-inch and 2-inch and all that sort of stuff. We have some DIY FPV questions. We're going to help some people get some video as well over on the troubleshoot section. Just generally, we got a whole bunch. Now, if this is your first time here, or you've been here for a long time, I want to let you know that you are always welcome. I hope you can kick back, relax. We're going to be talking all things FPV. We're going to be talking mental health as well, because I try to promote like some positive mental health energy, and the best way I know how to do that is with the FPV community. So if you are one of those people who's just not feeling right at the moment in the head, I would like to let you know that this is a welcome space and just a calm, safe place for you to reach out. If you need to send me a message, we have an amazing community here. Please don't feel like you have to suffer in silence or suffer alone. And especially because it's a little bit of a wild time as well. Now I'm going to go through some things. We're going to see some comments in the chat as well. Let me know what you guys are up to. I want to see who is here as well. Give a bit of a shout out. Let me know when was the last time you went flying, or just what you are up to. And if the audio is all working, the video is not stuttering, all that sort of stuff is good, because it's been a little while since we've had the stream set up. I usually have this camera downstairs when I was doing some filming. So I was setting everything back up this morning, and hopefully it's all sounding good. I can see Johnny DRC, of course, he's in the chat. We've got Chris Mel as well. Kobe saying, good morning all. Haven't been able to fly all week because it's raining, so catching the stream is the next best thing. Yeah, the weather right now, it looks super sunny, but we have had so much rain here in, they call it sunny Queensland, but it's like the wet season at the moment. We've had tons and tons of rain. So you might have seen we had like that cyclone or the hurricane or whatever at the start of the, like a little while ago now. But it's just like the ground is still soaking. I cannot mow the lawn because the lawnmower will get bogged down there. So it's like a swamp at the front of my property, which means it's a little bit sketchy when you're flying around. You don't want to crash your drone in any puddles or anything like that. Happy Flyer RC is saying stream is perfect. Are you legend? No, you're a legend. So I can see Every Day with Bruno, he's using those members emojis. Thanks so much for being a member there, buddy. And also shout out to my patrons for being, I guess, members as well, even though they can't use those emojis here. And Kobe saying, I feel like it's been raining constantly since the cyclone. Yeah, pretty much. So there's a lot of water around. Every single park that I go to fly at, there's like huge puddles everywhere. It sort of like needs a month of just insane, dry, hot heat here in Australia before we can get out and go flying. So let's move on. The first thing that I do want to talk about today, and I also mentioned mental health. So very quickly, if you are struggling, please reach out. I've suffered from it in the past, and if that is you, just if you broke your leg, you'd go see the doctor. If your brain's not feeling right, please reach out and speak to somebody, whether that be me, this community, or a professional. Don't feel like you have to suffer by yourself and alone. Now, that message might not be for everybody. even if it just reaches that one person though, that one person needs to hear this to let them know that, hey, it does get better. There is help out there, and I don't want you to feel alone. So I just want to put that out there before we start talking all things FPV. All right. The first, and of course, you can always put your comments down below as well. If you've got some questions or you want me to investigate something or there's a new product that you want me to check out, please throw it in the chat. That's what we'll do. We'll go check it out and have a look. I'll give you my thoughts, impressions. Maybe we can even help solve some of those problems as well. I can see Mystery D. He's saying a professional would be best. Yeah, absolutely. He's saying talk to a doctor for real. I did. Shout out to him. I do see him on my on a lot of my videos actually. Mystery D, but I'm glad we're on the same page here talking about, talking to a professional. Please don't feel any shame like that if you need to. It's not weak to speak is a bit of a saying that I believe in. All right. And we got Jeff saying, my brain is all good, on fire I am. Okay, energy to you, my friend. Now, the first thing that I would like to talk about today is a new video system. So in the past, everybody knows we've got DJI, we've got Cadex, we've got HDZero, and we've got OpenIPC as well. Now this has popped up recently. Hopefully my computer doesn't catch on fire here. And I was really hoping to have this like basically filmed and finished by now. Let's see, is this gonna work? So this is the T3, or the Edge T3, the HD video, digital video transmission system. This is like directly to their website. If you're watching this after, I'll put a link or something like that. However, this has taken like forever to turn up. So since I first spoke about this like a couple of weeks ago on my stream, there's like, I've been waiting and waiting. I thought it would be here last week. Maybe we could have a look at it on the stream. It is still not here. So fingers crossed. We've had some public holidays here in Australia as well. So we've had Anzac Day and everything like that. So maybe it's just got held up in the post. Mine is still not here, however, which is a little bit frustrating. Normally things take a little bit longer here in Australia. But let's have a look at this. So this system right here, I have to say, I've got some... I'm excited about it. I don't think it's going to be replacing DJI or Caddx or anything like that. It might give OpenIPC a run for its money. I did see a video actually this morning when I was checking out Mad's stream as well, and he had it where it was breaking up. And it was like, I don't know where, I tried to find that, but I actually couldn't see which one it was. But yeah, it looked like it lost the video when it was part way through. However, I would like to show you this. So let's jump over here. And this is like one of the flights. It doesn't give too many stats or anything like that. So, but have a look, I guess, like at the video quality. What am I watching this in? Am I watching this in? So this is in 1080, which is, I know you're watching a stream through a stream. But what I'm watching here, it looks pretty clear. So I'd say that's pretty exciting times. I don't know, let me know what you think about this video system. For a second, I thought that was the Sydney Harbour Bridge when I first clicked on this video. It's obviously not. It's somewhere. And let me know if there's sound coming through in the video too. I tried to mute all this for copyright reasons and that sort of stuff. This is in, like I don't know, just some random, I would almost call this a town in China, I believe. I don't actually know. But yeah, I have to say, and I think this is like a VTOL system as well that they're flying, because they do have a VTOL drone, which I think is in the post somewhere as well, but that has this system built in. I think it looks pretty clear. Like if I pause here and I'm looking at the trees and everything like that, and I like that I'm pretty sure that this is the DVR feed, exactly what you are seeing streamed to your eyeballs, because we've got all the OSD and that sort of stuff. I don't know what the onboard recording is like, or if this is actually, if it records all this stuff on top of the file. But yeah, let me know, like, usable? Absolutely. I don't know what the latency is like. The real interesting part is going to be when this drops out, because this is what I saw in MadTech's stream, is that when it like loses the signal a little bit, it'll just cut away until it comes back. Like it's not usable. Like how HDZero is really good at breaking down that image. You can almost fly through snow, like to having a usable image where you can see. DJI is quite good at like compressing there, so you're getting less and less information, but it's still visible. A lot of systems like this that haven't had any work done. Interesting, we've got a little bit of smearing here, but that's probably quite difficult for it to encode. And have a look at this sort of astroturfy things. But yeah, when you lose this signal on a system like this, from what I could tell from those other videos that I saw on Madstream, it's just completely gone. So if that is the case, that is really not great for FPV, like freestyle pilots or anything like that. We need a little bit of snow. We need a little bit of warning to say, hey, you are about to lose video. If it goes from perfect to nothing, it's not going to be a good day. It might be more suited to fixed wings. However, I have to say, I do really like that we have another system on the market, like that's coming out, and it's coming out with everything that we need to get flying. So if we jump over and have a look, I don't know if they're, okay, it's out of stock at the moment, so there's obviously a market for it somewhere. I don't know if that's just the hobby market or maybe sort of some other conflict zones or anything, but how much is it? Oh, all of them are sold out. Okay, so the entire set, so for a receiver unit and so for the ground unit, which is 160, okay, so you don't really get, oh, you do get a bit of a discount. Not, oh, do you? No. Okay, well, yeah, it's for not a terrible price. Like if you already have a pair of, maybe you've got HDZero goggles, maybe you've got some Walk Snail, like the Goggles X that have HDMI in, being able to connect this and run this to your video system is going to be interesting times. If you're on DJI, bad luck. But again, if you already have DJI, you're probably not going to care about having this sort of system to put in. I don't really like this, like this just looks insanely heavy though. That's probably something that I'm not a big fan of, where you really probably will want a dedicated ground station if you're going to be flying around with this. Like, look at the size of this thing. It's hard to sort of look, maybe here. It looks like a very chunky system. So what I quite like about, like, say the Walksnail VRX, you can sort of stick that to the front of the goggles. This, I think it's going to be way too heavy, unless maybe you had some weird like contraption on the top of your head here and sat it up there. But I don't know. What do you guys think? For me, I have to say I'm excited. It's definitely not going to be for everybody, but this is what we want, especially like the more competition we have, the better. That's why DJI is so good at the moment, because they wouldn't have given us those revisions, or I don't believe, if we had DJI. So maybe you let me know what you think, but DJI gave us those good 04s because of Cadex and the Walksnail systems and everything like that. Like they saw the 1S market or the 1S boards, they didn't really like it, and they thought, oh, we can try and do that ourselves and give some other options as well, because competition, you know who wins from that? It's us, the FPV pilots. Now, let's see, the yellow and red bars on the current DJI stuff is a great indicator of signal strength. Yeah, like it sort of lets you know if you're going to be, what I also mean is, like when the signal actually does start to break down on DJI, it just becomes a little bit blocky and it just gets a little bit harder and harder to see. It's like smearing the lens. It becomes more and more out of focus. When you use a system like this, from what I could tell in the video, and I really wish I could find that video, it just like cuts, it just wipes till you can't see anything, and then it comes back till it's perfectly usable. So it's like pulling a blind down and then lifting it up, where when you have DJI, it just breaks down slowly and slowly and slowly, or, you know, just gets more and more out of focus, which is what we need if we're FPV drone pilots. All right, let me pause this. Is this the one you saw a dude reviewing like 2 weeks ago? I don't know what you mean by that, Mystery D. I did see some people opening it up. But this is the first flight of it and some of the footage. There are only 100 of them available, or maybe they mean there's only 100 sets on a discounted price. Yeah, I think just there is, I think you can get them from other places as well. So whether they've released these on their own website and then shipped a whole bunch out to other manufacturers or other retailers. I think there's some on Banggood and stuff like that, but I think they're a little bit more expensive than if you can get them right here. Does it say anything about release date? April. The original price will be restored in May. Free worldwide shipping. Out of stock notice. Overwhelming support and enthusiasm. We are now... Oh, you can't even see this, sorry. We are now working around the clock. Restock starting 20th of May. Okay, so you're probably going to have a little while. That's when the next batch will be available. Hopefully, we have ours here. We can test it. We can find out the pros, the cons, what we like, what we don't like, who it's for, image quality, range, latency, all that sort of stuff. And you can subscribe to them on Facebook if you want to. I'll put this in the description later. However, the main takeaway is we got a cool new video system. It's not DJI, it's not Cadex, it's not HDZero. And anything that's coming into the market that is going to give us more options, it might not have to be for you, but if it is for somebody and it's maybe offering something that the others don't offer, that could even be a cheaper price. Well, that's amazing for us. Even if you just fly DJI and this system comes in and you are a hardcore DJI fan and this system is doing things aren't nearly as good, but it's like significantly cheaper and you're never going to buy it, guess what? That is going to impact you because in the future, DJI will have to take notice of that and say, hey, that system is really cheap. Maybe we need to offer more features to get people like to continue to buy DJI products, or maybe we need to reduce the price a little bit. So even if you are never going to change the system and you think you don't care about it, a system like this can offer still benefits for you, even if you're locked in and 100% never going to change on the current ecosystem that you have. And yeah, Mystery D is saying right here, yeah, not super impressed, but every competing product on the market, better for us all. Absolutely. Competition is great. With all these new Wi-Fi based systems are going to really push each other forward fast. Pour some liquid metal on the circuit board. That will boost the signal strength. I don't know about that one. That's not advised. You can do that 1973. Let me know how you go. But yeah, so I thought that was some pretty exciting stuff. Let me know too what you're flying around with and like what you like about their systems. Now, Andrew, I can see, I just want to mention, I didn't miss your super chat. I see it there. Thank you very much. Brother, he's saying, keen to hear more about HDZero. Yes, we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. I want to talk about Caddx now, though. The HDZero stuff, let's see, where is that? I am talking about that after a Radiomaster product, which has sort of come out as well. So once I get that done, don't worry, HDZero stuff is in here. We're going to be talking about that as well. So there's two things. So this is kind of crazy. If you've been around FPV for a while, occasionally a little bit of drama pops up, and there is definitely some Caddx drama going on. And I've been getting so many comments on my videos. I took a screenshot somewhere, which is basically talking about some NDAs and is Caddx really in trouble? What's going on? So we're going to address that a little bit right here. So we have... like here is a perfect, can I make this any bigger? Let's have a look. Let's see, how can I easily show this? So this one was like literally yesterday. Like I've got this comment here. It just says, Stu, did you sign the new Caddx NDA? I watched you for years and I know you have more integrity than that, hoping you just haven't seen it yet. So I was kind of like, what is going on here? Because all these sorts of comments were popping up. Other people saying not to mention Caddx, and they're insane. This is from like Crash FPV, and they're insane NDA when they can sue people for not giving good reviews. I was like, man, what is happening? And it turns out, and look, I am only talking about like secondhand information here. I want to make this very, very clear. And then I can sort of give my opinions on it as well, and my communications with Caddx and all that sort of stuff, because it keeps coming up in my chat, in my comments. From what I could tell, I went back and I couldn't find any of these videos as well. Like I saw a Madstech video a day ago or something, or a little while ago. That video has been deleted or taken down by Madstech, but we're still getting comments about it today on my channel. And I think who's the other one? Please let me know in the chat if you know the person that I'm talking about. Albert Kim. So like some stuff with Albert Kim as well. And the gist of it, from what I could get, from what I can remember when I watched those videos, but have since, like they're since been removed, is in the past, apparently Caddx had sent some NDAs to people where they could only talk positively about a product. And then I think Madstech was saying like there was some ramifications in here for like legal action if they didn't do that or something. And I want to say that that is completely unacceptable. I did reach out like this in this crazy, strange like events as well. How's this for timing? I wrote to Cadex because I hadn't heard from them the other day. And I was like, yo, is there any new products? Because I know we're going to be talking about some Cadex drones. I have not heard a peep from them. And without like releasing too much, like I don't want to release any personal emails in case they didn't want this stuff. But they sort of said, let me just read this, like they must have thought I was talking about the NDAs or something like that, because they said, we strongly oppose anything that harms users and never do anything that hurts anyone. And like they had a bit of a spiel about this discussion that people are talking about NDAs. And this is before I sort of knew what was happening. And I was just like, I'm not sure what this is about, but okay. So there isn't a product. And then, yeah, so it was kind of crazy that they sent that to me and I just wasn't too sure what they were talking about. And then more investigation, we see that I saw Madtech's video and all that sort of stuff. So I can say on my end, I don't believe that any company should put any NDAs. Let me just jump over here to my run sheet. No companies like Cadex, anyone else should put an NDA on what reviewers can say and can't say in any sort of review. Like I feel like that is the cornerstone of our hobby. If you are watching something and you can't talk about the negatives and you can't talk about like, you can only talk about the pros, that review is completely useless. I would be so upset if somebody did a review and they're like, oh, by the way, you can only fly this at nighttime or you can only fly this at daytime. Imagine if someone left that sort of information out. You would be absolutely furious when you viewers are like you people are making decisions on, is this the right system for you? And do you want to purchase this? Do you want to spend your own hard-earned cash on that? I would be absolutely disgusted if people weren't allowed to talk like openly about a product. Like that is the cornerstone of our hobby. Have I had any NDAs from Cadex? No, I haven't seen like this NDA that people are talking about. I am totally fine if a company wants to send me an NDA, which is like an embargo, which says, hey, can you not talk about our product before the release date? I'm happy to be like, yes, that's fine. I have no problem with like a release date schedule. And I've got to give a shout out to like Emacs, I believe is a good company on that. They'll send the product out. They'll give people ample time to talk about it. And then they say, hey, but here is the ample time to study it and review it. It stops people rushing as well. And then they say, hey, we can review this and let us know what you think, your honest thoughts and opinions. That needs to, I'm fine if there's just like a release date embargo, but a company that says, hey, we will take action against you, or we will, you can only say positive things in order for us to send you something. That's not how this should be at all. And if you are a reviewer that is getting those sorts of emails, you are better off not engaging with that product. You can make a video about it later. Don't buy into the hype that you need to get in and make a video about this sort of thing. And I'm not saying Cadex specifically. I'm saying any company, because I haven't personally seen any of the NDAs. But if a company is doing that and you're a small reviewer out there, move on. You have better things to do with your time. You can make other great content that isn't about that. You don't need to be on the release date, on the first, like, don't sell your soul, basically, when it comes to making content. A good example here is like of why you don't need to do that, like the DJI 04 stuff. DJI never talks to me. I have been critical of them in the past. They don't send me emails or anything like that. However, now, even though I wasn't included in those early release videos and that sort of stuff, I do wish some other content creators pointed out some of the things that I made. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. We still made content about it, and it's still got views. It's still got videos. And the important part, it helped people. Like for me, that's what it's all about. It is more important to help people rather than get out first, get those clicks or anything like that. Yes, you're going to lose some views, but your viewers, your audience will really appreciate like just the honesty that you have with a system, and you should be able to mention whatever you like about it. Now, as far as like actually Cadex and myself, I haven't heard too much from them in the past, like too much from them on this new release. I've never had an NDA with them, or I'm 99% sure that I've never signed an NDA, an actual official NDA with any company. I could be wrong. Like we've done a lot in the past that are usually just like a casual agreement. That's like, hey, don't release this before this date. And I'm like, yeah, no worries. But I don't think I've ever signed anything where I've actually had to put my signature on something and send it back. So Anyway, that's just my a bit of a rant about that. Cope, what are you guys saying as well? Chris is saying Albert Kim was the original poster. He removed based on death threats to him and his family. Ian decided to remove it even after Albert Kim said leave it up. Yeah, if you're, I don't know who's sending death threats, but that's like absolutely unhinged. No, the people also don't realize, like, us content creators, we make this for you guys to watch for free. Like, yes, there is Patreons and members, and shout out to my members here right now. So thank you, Everyday with Bruno. Thanks, Johnny DRC. Like, those people who are members. I do have some members only videos and Patreons only videos for you, but we make this stuff for you to enjoy. Like, it is at no cost to you besides your own time to watch these videos. So if you're making death threats based on what someone is posting up there that you can watch for free, like, I don't know, like, grow up. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Someone's saying everyone has a price, Stu. Okay, that is also true. If someone out there has $20 million and they're like, hey, Stu, do you want to do a review and you can only say positive things for $20 million? Like, yeah, I'll be the first to put my hand up for that. Someone's saying 5 million. There we go. We can crowdfund. If we can crowdfund $5 million, I'll like let you write the script and I'll just read that out. You know, as long as I put paid in the little YouTube video right there. Matt's the perfect example of that. Nearly every big brand hates him because he criticizes freely, yet he's one of the most respected content creators in the hobby. Yeah, absolutely. Mads is doing a fantastic job. I do wish you'd leave the videos up, though. It makes my job more difficult when I'm just about to talk about it, and then I'm like, wait, that's disappeared. They sent pictures of his kids. Yeah, that's insane. If that's like a police matter to investigate that. Think of how good DIY FPV could be with 20 million. Yeah, we'd DIY FPV is well, we don't have 20 million. We're funding this ourselves for DIY FPV, but we have some really, really cool things coming. And I can talk about one of the little features in a little bit as well, which is actually live if you're over there. Anyway, let's continue. So that was my rant about like Cadex and NDAs and Albert Kim and Mads Tech. The long and short of it is, for companies out there, you should believe in your product, and I'm fine if you put an embargo and say, don't talk about this before the review date. However, when it comes to somebody giving their impressions on a product, you should really not be encouraging it one way or the other. You shouldn't like give any kickbacks for positive reviews. You shouldn't say, hey, you can only talk about the negatives. Leave that up to the reviewer to have their own unrestrained or the unrestricted view of something, so they can say what they like about it freely. Believe in your product, and if they say negative things, take that feedback, work on it, and you can release a better product for your consumer in the future. And my other part to the reviewers out there, or anybody who is getting contacted by a company and you want to make content about stuff, don't sell your soul just to get just to even get a product in the first place. Or you don't have to agree to things. I don't think that it's like you're burning your bridges, and it's not worth it. You are much better in the long run. It's not sustainable if you can only talk positive things. In the long run, just give your honest thoughts about something, and that's what people will appreciate. That's why your viewers will stay. And I think that's what we've sort of built here as well on UAVFutures. Like, people like my reviews, and that's why I get other people as well, because I have disagreements, and it's fine to have disagreements, I should say, with other people. And not everybody is going to have a unilateral vision on what a product is and how it performs. And that's what I love on my channel, of like having other pilots. So getting Stickman Steve in, getting his impressions. What does he think about it? We can have a discussion back and forth, because in this crazy world of FPV, we have so many options. It is better than ever, despite all the drama. And you can fly whatever you like. And remember, like, I absolutely love this saying. It says, I need a t-shirt. If someone can make me a t-shirt out there, this is like, we will be able to organize something amazing for you. But basically, it's not about having the best gear. It's about having the best time. Or like, it's not about having the best gear in FPV. It's about having the best time in FPV. Like, that's the quote that I want on my FPV tombstone one day when I'm like 112 years old. Okay. Someone's saying, if you don't want negative feedback, you won't improve your product. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Yeah, you know what we're talking about there every day with Bruno. So the new Caddx drone though, talking about, so this is the new Caddx drone. A lot of people often ask me, hey Stu, what is up with the new Caddx product? Are we talking like walk snail? Where is it going to be? Like a new avatar system or anything like that? We haven't heard a peep. And the only sneak peeks that I can show you, because I haven't seen anything, I haven't had no NDAs have been sent to me. I really haven't heard anything from Cadex for quite a while. This is what I've got. So this is like one of the last official pictures that I saw. Let me show you this on the screen. So here we go. It is this. So, and I have seen somewhere some like sneak leaked videos or anything or things like that, but this is like their new drone system. There's not too much to go into. It really does remind me of the iFlight Defender. I heard Madstech saying that he had a confirmation yesterday in an email. It looks like he was asking them some things as well, like, is this going to be open IPC? Is this going to be a new walk snail system? And they said it is not open IPC. I don't know what that actually means. I wish, Cadex, if you ever watch this, please send me an email. Just send me an update on what is going on. I don't know, but what I am excited for is if this is a new option. And I believe in the past they have mentioned they want to focus on some budget things. Now, I don't know if that is them tempering expectations or just saying, hey, we want to offer a higher end system with things like the Goggle X and a lower end system for people to get in and enjoy FPV with. I don't know what that is going to be. If there is a product that gets people flying, gets people excited about FPV, that's amazing. Like, politics aside, no matter who the company is, if you are making a product that gets people just to get out there, get flying, enjoy the skies, I am absolutely all for that. I think I just did like 35 minutes of constant talking. If anyone else knows anything too about this system, please throw it down below. What it does remind me of is the iFlight Defender. Let's see if we can get that on the screen. Which I actually did a review of the Defender. And then I never published it because I had so many issues going back and forth that it never got finished. Like, can I just say how awesome is this website now that it's actually working? So this is the Defender, and I didn't like that it had a proprietary battery. That did annoy me. I had trouble getting mine to record. That was from iFlight. We wrote back and forth quite a bit. And in the end, mine was so far like apart and soldered and had so many issues that I just never got the video finished. Maybe we'll have to put that together for a members video. It's well past it now though, so it wouldn't help anybody. Someone's saying from the other leak, it looks like a DJI Neo type of drone based on the new Cadex FPV system. Yeah, where is this picture? So I think it's like similar size to, from the picture that I saw, like a similar size to this, but looks nothing like this. So it looks like it's made mainly of like a hard plastic outer body. The exciting part there though is if we actually have a new video system, like that's what I'm excited about. I don't know what it's going to be compatible with. I don't have any of those sorts of details. I don't know if we can get some extra RX units or if it's going to be things where we can run a HDMI out into our goggles and then get some of those new features. I don't even know. Here's the big part. I don't even know if the new system is going to be better than the old system, because if it is budget focused, I don't know, like if it is better and it is budget focused, that's amazing. But often if a product is going to come out and it is significantly cheaper than another revision, like you can't have the best of both worlds most of the time. You can't have a product that performs better and is cheaper. I mean, you can, but it'd be that's best case scenario. A lot of times, if a cheaper version comes out, it's usually a bit subpar versus the other ones. I saw some pics in the Walk Snail groups on Facebook. Chris, if you can find me some of those, that'd be amazing, and just shoot me through a quick email. I'll be able to get them up on the stream and have a look. We've already seen 3 firmwares for the Wi-Fi system: Open IPC, Ruby FPV, and whatever the Edge T3 is using. Yeah, exciting times. Very, very exciting times. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about, I'm just going to quickly catch up on 2 things on chat. Someone's saying, oh, okay, here's Narrow Mind is saying there's an easy fix for all this NDA nonsense. We simply need to adopt the ethic that if you sign an NDA, you publish the terms, just like you disclose payments. Yeah, if you get paid for a review, you absolutely should be letting your viewers know that. And I think if you need to sign an NDA, well, I wouldn't sign an NDA that says you can only talk about positive things, but that would go a long way for somebody else if they were making a video and they said, hey, here's this product I'm reviewing. I can only say positive things, but I doubt that's going to happen. That's going to happen. The difference between people's like ethos in that sort of like that's I don't know how you would even enforce that. Ethics is great, but if you can't enforce it, it doesn't really mean much if one person is saying that and then another person's not. Someone's saying here's some pictures of it. I don't know if I can see that. Mr. I don't know how do you pronounce that? Cobbian? I'm not too sure. Sorry there, buddy. Unless somebody's emailing me, just let me know. Let me know if you have emailed me. Now let's have a look. So actually, what we should show. This is what I want to mention today. Like we just saw, DIY FPV. Like it is really going to be an incredible website. We've got so many things coming. And this is what we have today as a nice little update. You might have seen this, and I don't think I mentioned this last time because the streams have been so big. Look at that. Boom. This is what people have been asking for since we released this. So now we have this little toggle up here that works across the site. And yeah, I know I've got 794 notifications. I've been a little bit busy here, but look, I don't have it. I've answered all my emails. I even just put a comment on Jeff's question somewhere here. However, if you are a DIY FPV user and you're using this on your mobile or using this late at night, or a developer, or you're staring at a screen all the time, check it out. Now we have dark mode, just this little button up here. So I know it was a highly requested feature. Thanks for your great feedback, and a huge shout out to the DIY FPV team to go through and just make this so easy. Probably one of the hardest parts that we actually had to figure out was without making these logos like completely disappear. And when you are looking at a product, we weren't too sure how we were going to display, like did we need to change the background or anything like this. So it was just a nice aesthetic for the user. I have to say, like, this website looks incredible. I'm a little bit biased, but just the general feel and vibe of the website and the colors and everything, the designers have done an incredible job. So shout out to Roberts there. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Stunning, delicious. Okay. Someone's saying, yeah, dark mode. Well done. There we go. And Chris is emailing me some. Let me just double check that on my emails. Here we go. So this is the first one. Back to that Cadex, talking about the new drone or something that's coming. So I don't actually know if there's any carbon in there. Actually, I would like that doesn't look like carbon down there. But I don't know. Let's see. And the other one, this is it from the top view. Ooh. Looks like, I thought they might have had some in a little box right here, but this is not actually it. But yeah, here's it from the top view. What I don't like is this part of like a proprietary battery. Oh no, I've frozen, haven't I? Oh, oh. I know you look how I can switch screens. Let me just turn my camera off and on. Let's see how we go here. Oh, what's going on? Okay. Let's blame Chris for this. So this is working. It looks like it is in OBS. Maybe. Can I add this again? Okay, let me try something. If I don't know how many people are still here, so I'm currently let me just restart OBS. Are we back? All right. I think that we are back, maybe. Check. Okie dokie. Thank you so much for those people who are here. That's kind of stressful, actually, when you're trying to run a stream and everything like that, because it's quite hard on YouTube to let YouTube know that you are streaming. Those people here, and often it will take like one blip or one problem, and then like, oh, there's like 100 people gone or things like that. All right. Anyway, let's see. Please don't break right now. This was the Cadex drone right here from the top. I don't like the idea of a proprietary battery, but we'll have to see how much it costs as well, all that sort of stuff. Now, where were we up to before OBS decided to die? We've had a look at dark mode. Okay, this next little product I'm actually quite excited about. So this is the Radiomaster trainer, and this is going to be perfect for people like me, like dads like me who want to teach their kids to fly. We have this little thing. So I'm going to, oh, did I just lose some screws? We have this tiny little box right here. This is going to be a huge deal when it comes to getting my daughter to fly. So if I jump over here, we have, it's currently on pre-order. So this is the Radiomaster S-Bus wireless training module. And essentially the way this works is it is going to let me take control from like my daughter's, like if she is learning to fly, I'm going to be able to sort of have like a supervising role when I'm doing that. So she can be the student and I'm like the teacher. The way it works is you take your two radios. So let's say I give my daughter the yellow radio. I'm flying around with the pink radio right here, and I put this module in the back. Let's jump over here. I put the module in here. Oh, I've just lost another screw, so I'm gonna have to do that. The module goes in. You put a little S-Bus receiver in the back right here, and it's got two little ports. There's also two different versions as well. Now, this radio will bind up to the receiver in here, and then this radio will bind up to the drone or the plane, the wing, whatever you're going to be flying. So when you're cruising around, you're going to be able to flick a switch. It's going to give control over to this radio. And if you flick the switch the other way, you take control back. It's sort of like those cars that you see when somebody's learning to drive and they have like two steering wheels. So at any given time, the person with like the main control radio, the teacher radio, the non-student radio, they can take control and steer the model back or whatever you're going to do. Now, this is going to be great when I'm teaching my kid to fly because there's some more powerful craft that I want her to fly around. She's flown with some little drones in the past, but they don't actually quite have the power to, sometimes like she is out flying them and other times that power will get her into trouble. So having that option is going to be amazing. That's what I can't wait to do with this little module. And I think for like $10, it's a really, really good price. The other part as well, if you are flying around, this is going to be amazing for, especially if you want to transition from drones to wings. So I've got some friends that I want to fly around some wings. Shout out to Mystery J. I want to go flying with him, but he has never flown a wing in his life. And that most times, like 9 times out of 10, you are going to crash a wing on that first launch. Like it's always a little bit sketchy. You never know exactly what is going to happen. So I can launch the wing, get it up in the sky, flick a button, and then he can take control, have a practice, cruising around. I can watch, and if it's really getting into some strife, it's great. I can flick that button, take control. I would also really like this for me if I was practicing some line of flight wing action, line of sight, I should say. I'm not good at line of sight. It messes my brain up too much. But maybe I'm getting a great idea. That's how I should practice. I should try flying that, and then Stickman Steve is watching in the goggles to take over FPV if things are really getting sketchy. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. This is perfect. I'm going to be able to actually use this now. This isn't just for like if you want to teach your kids to fly. I'm going to be able to learn some new skills using this thing, doing some line of sight action. While Stickman Steve could be watching FPV, and if I have to scream, take control, then he can do that. So yeah, really, really cool stuff. You need to put your own little receiver in here. So in the back, any S-Bus receiver, you still need to go and get that. But I think like $10, like it's pretty cool. What would be even more amazing if they could just include this? Imagine this is a little extra that comes with like every single radio. I don't know, like they could probably get this price down even more. I really like that we could put that in there. I don't know, maybe even built internally into the radio somehow. Imagine that. That'd be pretty awesome. I think that'd be a great feature. Happy Fly RC. I've trained a number of folks on fixed wing on Spectrum, but this would be nice to use for training on a multi-rotor. Johnny DRC is saying he's taught a few people this way. It's a really cool concept. Yeah, it's been around for a long time. I think this is the first time that I have an easy solution like this that's simply really cheap. And often in the past, you had to run a wire between two radios. This is great. We're no longer like chained together or anything like that. You can simply plug this in, fly around, and at the flick of a switch, hand control back and forth between the two. Okay. Let's see other things that I want to talk about. I know we're going to talk about tariffs a little bit. I'm just looking at the time of this live stream as well, because I also want to talk about some stuff about HDZero. Tariffs are absolutely like, I don't think it's going to be a good time to be in the hobby. I'm looking at some of the prices of some things. Like this is why, again, I'm going to shout out my website here, DIY-FPV. If we jump over here and have a look, like this is the easiest way to rank the prices and see what they currently are. However, if you're in the US, like some of these stores already have their tariff prices built in, like $97 here at Get FPV. Newbie Drone has it marked up to like, so this must be, it's interesting because these stores are owned by multiple, I think Get FPV and Race Day Quads are Andy, but also Newbie Drone right here, like $97 for a pocket radio. That absolutely breaks my heart to see. Of course, like you can say, you can get it from Radiomaster here, but you're probably going to be paying a tariff once it hits the US shores anyway. Pyro Drone's there at $81. Like it really breaks my heart to see these cheap value radios. I don't know that we have to pay so much now. I don't know what sort of, and I don't want to get too political right now. I just sort of want to say on like a purely financial point of view, it's quite heartbreaking to think like, and I've always been about the value pilots. I've always been about people wanting to get flying and just, they don't need to spend a gazillion dollars to get up in the air and have a good time, because it's not about the best gear. It's about having the best time. And this makes value gear even more important. So for me, this is really cement. Like if you have to pay double every single dollar that a product costs, if you have to pay another one as a tax to your government, you really are going to be looking to give as least amount of like tariffs to the government that you can. So I don't know. It's just crazy. Like I hate to think how much like HDZero goggles are going to cost in the States if you have to pay that sort of cash. So I don't know. My advice is I don't know how much the USA needs to be making its own FPV radios in the country. Like I'm not too sure on that. But I do really want to say that I feel for everybody out there, and especially for the newcomers who if you already have gear, consider yourself lucky. If you are a newcomer coming into the hobby and you live in the States, there has never been a more expensive time to get flying. And I don't know what people are saying, just wait it out. Like 4 years might be a long time to wait. Like people, I don't actually, like the rest of the world, when they're watching this, they feel like they don't know what is going to be announced tomorrow. And if I was an importer, just from what I've seen on the news and seeing the tariffs change and then not change and then know it's going to be off and then getting some other announcement that, oh no, we've never said that, it's back on. Now we're going to be 200% tariffs. Like I would be feeling extremely anxious and having no confidence in how much is it actually going to cost me to get these products, because no one's going to make these radios in the States, I don't think. It's just, I don't know, a tricky time. So I have to say, I've seen some posts showing HDZero goggles listed for over $1,000 USD. That must be is that the cheap ones or the expensive ones? Prices will never be cheap again. I have some real solutions. Like if you would like to dodge the tariffs, you can maybe move to Australia. We currently don't have any here. Postage does take a little bit longer. Someone's saying, last time I heard it's 145% tariff on China. It is insane. The Box Pros are $450. Yeah, that's, what were they going to be? Like 300. There isn't any money. Read the law. It's all flat. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to go read a law. I'm just purely showing you, like right now, if I want to buy a radio, like some of these, like a Boxer Crush radio, a great radio. American. They used to be cheapest in the States. They used to be $189, and now we've got $230. $280, like almost $300 for this. So I don't know. Someone's saying I feel a lot better about our local prices in Oz. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to say that I am working on something. I don't want to announce too much as well, I guess, when we're talking about this, but watch this space specifically from a way that I will be able to help the community in a pretty major way, I'm hoping anyway, because I want as many people to get flying as possible. Like that is my mission in life. FPV is absolutely life-changing, and I promise you, is a promise, that I have something in the works that is going to get more people flying and to help you guys. So I have something that everybody will be able to benefit from. Nobody's buying at those prices. That's what Dave S is saying. It's going to make it like, I don't know. I'm going to move on, but I just want to say I feel for you guys. Okay. What did I get wrong? I have to go back to my super chat. So this is what did I get wrong with my HDZero review. Now, I don't own a pair of HDZero goggles. I would love to. However, I've done a couple of comparison videos in the past, and shout out to Chris Croft because I was flying some of his systems around. I have flown some other systems in the past as well, though they weren't with the HDZero goggles. And I did a video, a bit of a comparison here, and I posted my stats and what I found over on DIY FPV. You can check this table out here. And this is where a lot of people were commenting and saying, hey, Stu, can you please have a look at this score, this 6 out of 10 score for image quality? So this isn't not talking about latency or any of the other things that I tried to cover in my little head-to-head goggle shootout video. I gave the DJ goggles, I gave them a 10 out of 10. I gave Walk Snail an 8.5 and then a 6 out of 10 for the HDZero FPV goggle. Now, I took this in, Stickman Steve actually gave a 4 out of 10, and I would have to agree when HDZero looks the worst, it doesn't look any better than analog as far as I'm concerned. However, I have tried to factor in, let's have a look here. I know Bot Grinder had some stuff. I would love to see, and I thought about putting this in my review because I want HDZero to look as good as it can, but every time I try to download from YouTube and then put it into the video and then it gets re-uploaded, it looks even worse. So it wasn't really helping. I would love to get some HDZero freestyle, like the best that it can look. So I don't care about the latency. I just want to see just how good it looks. Let's see, when was the last listed upload date? All right, Spaghetti FPV. I'm looking at your video right here. Let's have a look. Jumping over. Please do some flying. So I want to know just how good. Oh, we've got some sort of wasp on the screen. That's not going. It's not helping here. I don't know, like when you guys watch this, and I know you are watching me watch a video that is getting streamed and then streamed back encoded on my OBS and streamed back to you. So maybe does HDZero just have some really bad encoding problems that like YouTube doesn't like? I want to see some good looking HDZero because I still stand by like my 6 out of 10 image. Anybody who tells me that like this isn't a fair score, if like compared to like a walk snail image, if you're looking at the detail, and I'm looking at like specifically the clarity and things like that, I'm yet to be convinced out of all the videos I've seen online, unless there is some phenomenon happening where it is much better in the eyeballs and YouTube really is messing it up and it's just specifically HDZero's encoding and YouTube's making it look much worse than it is, because there's been a lot of comments about it, and I fully understand if they might be a little bit upset with what I've got to say. And if I spent $1,000 on a system, like Stickman Steve said, he would be forever defending this system if he had to purchase it. I don't know. Other people saying all my friends fly DJI. So Fishbones is saying, I love my HDZero goggles, but I only use them for my whoops and old analog. Fishbones, can you say on HDZero's best day, can you just give me a rating out of 10, what it actually looks like, and then give the other system that you're flying with a rating out of 10. So whether you have a Cadex or whether you have a DJI, can you please put that in the chat? That would be actually probably very, very beneficial. Everyday with Bruno saying analog for life. And Chris Croft is saying, I've used it and I have used it, and I think he says went to many other race events. 6 out of 10 is a fair score when DJI is a 10 out of 10. So that's coming from a user who is using it like for a whole bunch of different things. So thank you very much there, Chris. I don't know. I feel like I want HDZero to do well. It's just not their strong point, and the amount of comments I've had of people saying that's 6 out of 10 is not a fair score. I want to know, what did I get wrong with HDZero? Do they have some better videos? So maybe if you are a user out there who loves HDZero, can you please email me or like Dropbox me or something like that, UAVFutures at Gmail, the best looking HDZero footage that you can, please. That's not on YouTube, so I can watch it myself, like watch the recording here, and have some more information. All right, let's have a look. He's saying for whoops, I would say a 7, but DJI is 10 out of 10. All right, so you've got an extra number right there. So you're saying 7 out of 10. Whoops is, what do you mean by whoops? Is that going to be best? I want like the best that it looks in its best setup with the best camera and the best VTX. Anyway, other people saying analog forever. It might be analog with these prices actually. Now, we've got 2 last things I want to mention. Like, this has been popping up a little bit. A lot of people are saying, hey, Stu, why is it that 2-inch drones are more popular than ever? I've been out of the hobby for a little while. What happened to 5-inch? Is 5-inch still what people are freestyling with? And there is a big reason why I believe that is changing. Because in the past, you would have all seen, we flew around with craft like this. So this was one of my premium UAVFutures build. I absolutely love this. Like, this is a 5-inch, like, freestyle basher. I've had so much fun with this drone. It was probably like my drone of like just reliability. I could fly this, just have some fun with it. However, things have definitely changed in the hobby. And if you've been out for a little while, you have been seeing so many little frames that are about this size. And you might be saying, wait, is that what people are freestyling with? And is that what we're moving towards? Because there is a bit of a theme happening where these drones are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I believe if you are freestyling with 5-inch, maybe you're doing it wrong or you're doing it for some different reasons. The reason 5-inch in the past was a really good choice. One, it could carry a GoPro. So people like to put the GoPro on and get the juiciest footage that they could. And number two, we just didn't have access to like smaller, reliable, powerful parts on our components. There was nothing like there is today. However, if we look at something like the Lightning, you can put in now a DJI, like a light in there. It is small, it is light. The components are getting more and more reliable as well. And a big one, it's not nearly as intrusive. So you can rip this thing around and have a good time without worrying what Karens are thinking, without upsetting people. And it is also significantly safer than if you're going to be ripping around a 5-inch. Like, these things are really, really cool. They're a great sight to behold, but they can also be a little bit scary. If this could actually do some serious damage to people and property, which is why I believe, like, moving forwards, and you will see this happen more and more and more, you can get so much of that 5-inch freestyle and that 5-inch feeling in a tiny drone form factor. Now, it's not going to replicate it perfectly, but you could actually do racing with these things. Like the Lightning V2, insanely fast little drone. The footage still looks amazing, even on a light. It's not going to be a GoPro replacement, but for most pilots, maybe it's going to be good enough. It's still got like insane speeds to have some fun and flippy floppies. And it also doesn't break the bank. So when you crash, like, these motors are cheaper, these frames are cheaper. It's just a great way that you can have that 5-inch feeling in a much smaller form factor. And that's ultimately why I think in the future, this is sort of like the sweet spot. Maybe a tad bigger, where we could put like if you have a craft like this that can put an 04 Pro in here, a DJI 04 Pro, I don't know why anybody would ever go to a 5-inch freestyle frame. So if you are one of those people out there that likes that, like, what else are you getting out of it that you can't get for this? And also the same with racing, where I think the joys of racing, I'm not a big racer, so this could be a stretch, but I think the exciting part about racing, and it sort of proved this with Whoop racing as well, is that competitive nature. It is not always about going the fastest and having the highest kilometers per hour drone. It is about that competition of who can get around the track the quickest. If you look at Whoops, they're not the world's fastest drone by any means, but they are still so much fun. And when you see those pilots racing with those little craft, they're still having an amazing time. Maybe little craft like this have a place in the future that's not just only for the 5-inch racers out there. But time will tell. That's just sort of like my prediction on where I think the hobby will head as well, because it's cheaper. Like, it's cheaper, it's less intrusive, it's easier to fly in a smaller space. You don't need quite as much area. It's just more accessible on so many levels than a 5-inch. So that's why we used it in the past, because it was the best we had and it was what we could fit. But moving towards the future, you're going to see less and less 5-inch. There's going to be some hardcore purists out there who only fly analog and only fly. They still want their 2017 Alien Impulse Apex frames and things like that, or some races. But yeah, I think as we see more and more heading towards where this hobby takes us, this is where the fun is at. And I've really seen that last year, having an amazing time with the Lightning. Like, my most flown little micro drone combined with a pocket. And now you can get digital, that small form factor. It's great. It's cheaper, and it kept the government and Karens off your back. Yeah, also, I'm not too sure what registration is like. I don't even know what is the news with registration. No one even talks about that anymore. Now we've got the tariffs. All right. Based on the comments by the Fast Guys, some top pilots only like 5-inch race quads. To make racing more watchable, you need bigger and slower, like Street League or multi. Yeah, but how many people are going to watch a race event? I don't know anyone who is excited to go and watch other people fly, unless you're an actual pilot. I don't know anybody who's just going along week after week just to watch them. That's why we've got DRL on TV. And Dave S is saying he's so far away from people, it doesn't matter. All right. The last thing I want to talk about is some bad video. So if you've got some bad video and you're wondering why it's dropping out, this video might help you. FPV can be a bit of a fickle place. And video is one of the main, like, it's in the name, like first person view. What can you actually see? So if I jump over here, this is on DIY FPV. I thought I'm going to help this person And he's saying, I'm having trouble with my Acro Boost 75 from newbie drone. The video drops out way sooner than it should, and the radio signal is always low. Any suggestions? Now, before I even start this, what I want to say is you need to temper your expectations. If you are seeing some video flights online that are FPV, you might be watching digital, and this is an analog setup. I can tell straight away by the clarity here. Let's have a look, and I will show you. So straight away, like this is sometimes what to be expected from a cheap camera. However, check out the amount of flickers and the amount of fuzz that we are getting. So that's not normal. So sometimes you can get, let's see if I can pause this on a bit of snow or a bit of, so see these like little flickers and things like that little bit of snow is normal, but these flickers that you are seeing and this, like that's not normal. Now, straight away from my experience watching this, what I would say is this is a mismatched video channel. Like there's a whole bunch of things that people are suggesting, but if you are flying around like this, you should be getting a much cleaner, much more stable image. So you can see here, it says we're on F4. You really need to make sure that you are using F4 in your goggles. Now, some goggles, depending on, like if you have some old Onways, they actually have the table incorrectly labeled in their actual lineup. But I'm going to guess this, yeah, that's completely unflyable, right? But you need to make sure, and what is F4? It might be 5800. Maybe someone can confirm that for me in the frequency tables, but this is the number one thing that you need to check. Is your frequency on your drone pumping out the same frequency that is in your goggle headset? Because if they are not aligned, this is what you're going to get. In digital FPV, you're not going to have that problem because those two things know how to talk to each other generally, and they'll say, hey, I'm on this channel, make sure your goggle's on there. You're not going to get like half an image, but when you are flying around with analog, you can pick up like, it's sort of like if you're flying around with analog, you can get those channels just a little bit. So your frequency can be just a little bit off and you can still hear it. It's almost like, someone give me a good analogy here where I don't even have a good cooking analogy to use. It's, if you're flying around on digital, you're talking with that walkie-talkie phone that has a wire. So either that wire is on or off. If you are flying around with analog, you might be talking to somebody here, but then the window might be open or fully, there will be a window between you. And if you're on the same channel, it's fully open. But if you're on a different frequency, or maybe the window's only open this much, or maybe it's only open half. So a little bit is getting through and the rest isn't. That's sort of what you're picking up. That's a good way. That's a good analogy. Now there's some other things that you can do as well. Yeah, it's like a detuned radio. Great. On your car, you could sort of hear the noise coming in and everything, and it'd be really muffled sound until you got that right frequency lined up. That's what you'd be hearing. Now, the other thing you can do, and this is what I believe is not the case here, I would be very, very, pretty sure that this is on the right channel. First, go check this somewhere else. Maybe you're getting some bad interference from a Wi-Fi router or something like that that's flying around on the same channel. That might be some of your interference. The top comment here, if I have a look, and I have to disagree with what it said here, it says to switch to raceband channel 8. From memory, raceband channel 8 is the highest on the frequency table. I would recommend going as low as you can. Now, obviously, try some different things. The lower the channel and the lower the frequency, the better penetration or range you are generally going to get. Maybe this is talking about like avoiding Wi-Fi or something. So you need to make sure there's no interference, because you can get interference from some other signals, some radio towers. I've had some places where some channels are completely washed out, where other channels are completely fine to fly. So you need to change your channels there. And then finally, you can try increasing your power, although this doesn't look like typical power loss. This looks like definitely a interference or a mismatched channel frequency problem. And then you can also check your VTX tables and that sort of stuff in Betaflight just to make it sure that it's set up correctly. And then finally, how are your antennas? Your antennas should have some decent, make sure there's connections on there on both your goggles, and make sure that it hasn't just simply disconnected on the drone side of things, because that can happen as well. So if you're having bad video, go through all those steps first. If your video looks like this, jumping around and everything, it's probably mismatched channels. if your video is getting snowier and like just slowly degrading, that's usually typical, and maybe try increasing your power levels. So here we've got a bit of a comparison as well. Which one is this on? So this is on E1. So I would put the other drone on E1. Now, okay, maybe this is a new pilot here. You can't see it says E1 down the bottom. Maybe this pilot is flying around on E1, and I hope he's changed this one from F4. Just please double check that. I'll have to link this video there. So I don't know how new this pilot is, but like that would perfectly explain just what we've been talking about. If he is flying around this F4 drone and his goggles are set to the same frequency that we are right here. So this is on E1. So this is 5705. F4 is like 5800 or something like that. Someone please comment that in the chat if you know what that is. Anyway, hopefully that will help you if you're flying around with some poor analog video. Now, just looking at the time, we've run a little bit over this week. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has been here. The most important thing that you can do right now, and it's not for me, it's for you, is just to know that you are valued. And I truly do care about you being here and having the best time. And I want you to let you know that you are special, you are cared about, and you are valued. And thank you for being here. The world is a better place with you in it. And if you ever feel like you are suffering, please remember, you don't have to suffer in silence. I've been there in the past with some poor mental health, and thankfully I am better now, but I know what it's like, and I don't want you guys out there to feel alone. Even if it's just that one person who's hearing this, I don't want you to feel like you have to be alone. And I hope that you know that you are valued and you are cared about. So thank you for being here. All right. Other than that, I'm going to say be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. I will see you next week. Shout out to my members. Thank you very much, Everyday with Bruno. If anyone else would like to join, my members link should be here somewhere on YouTube. You can click that little join button. There is some bonus videos, especially on HDZero, Walk Snail, and DJI at the moment. So there's some videos down there. A couple of other bonus things you can do as well. And that, subscribe for more FPV related content. And I will see you guys next week. I think next week's like number 40. 40 weeks in a row, plus Christmas and the 2 we missed last week. So anyway, it's episode number 40. All right. Happy flying, guys. You guys are amazing.